When she asked for a break, it didn't feel like a request. It felt like a quiet declaration of war. She said the words calmly, as if she were asking for space in the closet, not time away from our marriage. I just need to clear my head, she told me, standing in our kitchen, her hands wrapped around a cup of tea she hadn't sipped in 10 minutes. It's not about someone else. I'm just lost in who I am. I need to step back before I drown in this routine. The words hurt, but the way she said them, flat, distant, almost rehearsed, hurt even more. We had been married for 7 years. Not perfect years, far from it, but honest ones. We'd fought over money, in-laws, forgotten anniversaries, but never about love. At least, I didn't think so. But in that moment, staring at the woman I promised forever to, I realized love doesn't always die with thunder. Sometimes, it dissolves quietly, in late dinners eaten separately and long silences between commercial breaks. I asked her how long she needed. She shrugged. A few weeks. Maybe 3? I'm staying at my sister's. She packed a small suitcase. Just a few clothes, a journal, and her favorite pillow. It was surreal. Watching her leave with such soft finality. The first week was unbearable. The bed felt massive and cold, like a hotel room meant for someone else. I still made her coffee in the morning by mistake. I still texted her funny things out of habit, only to delete them before hitting send. Friends told me to give her space, but I couldn't help wondering. Space for what? To miss me? To forget me? Or to test the waters of a life where I didn't exist? By the second week, the pain turned to numbness. I started overanalyzing everything. Every past conversation, every fight, every hug I might have cut short. I found myself replaying our wedding video one night, trying to read between the smiles. Did she already know then? Was this coming for years and I just ignored the signs? I checked her sister's social media. No updates. No clues. Just photos of sunsets and inspirational quotes that felt like subliminal messages. Sometimes, you have to lose yourself to find who you are. That one almost made me throw my phone against the wall. Then came the third week, the one where I began to prepare myself for the end. I told myself that maybe she wouldn't come back, and maybe that was okay. Maybe love didn't always end in betrayal or a third person. Maybe it just wore itself out like old shoes, still holding together, but not worth walking in anymore. And then, just when I thought the silence had won, she came back. She walked in without knocking. Same keys, same soft click of the door, but everything felt different. She didn't carry the suitcase she had left with, just her purse and a notebook pressed tightly to her chest. I was in the kitchen, making tea out of habit again. When I saw her, I froze. Not from anger, not even from shock, but from uncertainty. I didn't know whether to hug her or brace for impact. She gave me a tired smile, the kind people give when they don't know if they're welcome. Hey, she said quietly, as if the weight of those 3 weeks lived in that one syllable. I just nodded. You okay? She hesitated before answering. I think so. I needed to talk to you. Her voice had that fragile edge, the same tone she had used the day her father died. It wasn't just nerves. It was layered with guilt, fear, and something else I couldn't quite place yet. She sat at the table without being asked. It was still her home technically, but now every movement felt borrowed. I lied, she said. The words were soft, but they cracked the room open. My heart thudded once, loud and hollow. She didn't look at me, just stared down at her notebook. It wasn't just space I needed. There was someone else. I felt the ground tilt. The way the world does when an elevator suddenly drops, even for a second. We didn't sleep together, she added quickly, as if that softened the betrayal. But I did meet him. Someone from before you. Before us. I thought maybe what we had was unfinished. I thought if I saw him, I'd understand why I kept wondering. Why I kept feeling like something was missing. I didn't interrupt. I just let her talk. The way you let a storm pass, powerless and still. She ran her fingers over the spine of the notebook. I spent the last week writing down everything. Every memory. Every thought. Trying to figure out why I felt empty, even with you. And the truth is, it wasn't about him. It was about me. I wanted to blame the marriage for my unhappiness, but I realized I never stopped carrying old wounds. I was expecting you to fill them. I looked at her then. Really looked. She didn't seem like someone who had found an answer. Just someone finally brave enough to stop lying to herself. I came back, she said, her voice cracking. Because I don't want to run anymore. Not from you. Not from this. I don't know how to fix it. The silence between us wasn't empty anymore. It was full of years of love, of resentment, of the hope that maybe, just maybe, this wasn't the end. But neither of us moved. Because rebuilding something real starts not with a kiss, but with the truth. I don't know how to fix it, she repeated, quieter this time. Like maybe even saying it out loud made her realize how broken we were. I took a deep breath, the kind that stretches through your ribs and presses against your chest like it's trying to hold something in. I didn't respond right away. I wanted to. God knows I had a million things I could have said. Anger, pain, accusation. But all that cluttered rage faded as I looked at her. The woman sitting across from me wasn't the same one who'd left. She looked smaller somehow. Not in stature, but in certainty. Like someone who had walked through a storm and wasn't proud of what she found on the other side. I read somewhere, I finally said, that love isn't just about choosing someone once. It's about choosing them again and again, especially when it's hard. She looked up, hopeful. But I wasn't finished. Thing is, I don't know if I have it in me to choose you right now. Her face fell slightly, and for a moment, she nodded like she understood. But then she reached into her notebook and slid a page across the table. It was a letter. Handwritten, messy, and smudged from what looked like tears. This is everything I didn't say, she whispered. Every regret. Every mistake. Every moment I took you for granted. I didn't touch the letter. Not yet. Because I was still trying to process what mattered more. The fact that she came back, or the fact that she left in the first place. Do you love him? I asked. No, she said quickly. I think I loved the version of myself I was with him. Young, wild, untethered. But it wasn't real. It was nostalgia dressed as romance. You're the real thing. You always were. I stared at my hands. The same hands that built furniture for our first apartment. Wiped her tears after her miscarriage. Held her through sleepless nights and petty fights. These hands had done everything to protect her. And yet they were now trembling. I'm not saying it's too late, I finally said. But I can't just pretend this didn't happen. Something broke, and if we're going to move forward, we rebuild it from scratch. No borrowed bricks. No old blueprints. She wiped her eyes and nodded. I'll do whatever it takes. Even if that means waiting for you to be ready. We didn't hug. We didn't kiss. We just sat there, two people who had been to the edge and decided not to jump. There was no music. No big speech. Just a silence that no longer felt like an ending. But maybe, just maybe, the start of something honest.